Welcome to what could be a very mood-ready July. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is going to be a July TBR, MBR of sorts. I'm not sure if these books are going to get read, so please take this with a grain of salt. There is a few things happening in July, one being it is Rachel's and my 4th year wedding anniversary, so we are going away to Adelaide for a week there. She's going to an editors conference, which is the editors of WA. Ironically, is in a different state, but they have a conference, and I believe lots of people from Australia, lots of editors from Australia will go to that one, and we're also going to spend some time in some little places in Adelaide we didn't get to see last time we were there, which was our first year relationship anniversary. We went and saw Post Malone in Adelaide, so yeah, there's that. That'll be there for a week. I'm also going to be working through all of my beta feedback for my book Alpha, and hopefully sending that to my copy editor, also Rachel, before the end of the month. So that will be taking up a lot of my time. Beta reading, I don't have much booked. I have one novella to do in the first couple of days of July, and then outside of that, it'll be reading for pleasure. But as I said in the last, channel update, I was taking a bit of a step back for at least the month of June, and I think I'm going to continue doing that for the foreseeable future. It just felt a little bit more authentic, so I'm not going to make an announcement every time that I'm like, hey, I'm also just going to be filming videos and putting them up when I want to. That is just going to be what is happening for the foreseeable future. I'm not going to say I'm going to put X amount of videos out every week, because it may not happen, and you'll just get videos, and I'll just be putting out videos when I want to, and hopefully the more chill vibes and the authenticity comes across to the camera here. So that is not really what we're here to talk about today. We are here to talk about a July TBR coming into the second half of the year. I had a quick look at my reading goals from the beginning of the year, so the 10 series I wanted to start and the series I wanted to continue, and some of the goals that I had. I will be making a goals related video a little bit later on in this month, but I have not really picked up a whole bunch of those series that I wanted to start or to continue, even though some of the other goals are being met. So my big goal, moving forward for July through to December, is to try and be picking up at least one of each moving forward. I don't know how viable that is, but at least for July, I do have one of each. So a series that I would like to start is The Black Hind's Wake by J.E. Hannaford. So I'm going to be giving this one a go. This is going to be on the priority list for the month, and this is a duology, so if I like this one, maybe I can close out that series before the end of the year. That'd be great. But this is absolutely stunning. This light is going to not do this justice at all. I think book 2, The Pact, has one of my favorite covers ever, and it hasn't been knocked off its perch since I've seen it. So this is likewise very beautiful about Selkies, I want to say, but I don't know too much more than that going into it. But I am looking forward to reading this one and hopefully finishing the duology within 2025. The series continuation from the list that I had earlier in the year. Now, I have done better with series continuations and closing out series than I have with picking up new ones, but I am feeling a pullback to this world. I read the first book as an arc, I'm pretty sure, and we are now up to book 4. So I would like to pick up The First Ancestor by J.D.L. Rizal. Again, the light's not going to do these covers any justice, but this is absolutely gorgeous, wrapped around there on the back. So I'm looking forward to returning to this world. I still have a pretty good grasp on book 1, which is surprising to say. I read it, I would say, more than a year, maybe even 2 years now. But I'm looking forward to jumping back into this world. So that is the series starter and the series continuation that I would like to start for July. Outside of that, I am doing some reading for a podcast episode with Ryan, and that is mainly based around cyberpunk, which he is going to be talking about cyberpunk, I'm guessing in a traditional sense, as well as the subgenre itself. In terms of traditional publishing, whereas I'm going to hopefully be talking about a majority of indie reads within the cyberpunk sphere. I did just read Neuromancer by William Gibson as a bit of a base and an understanding, but the 4 books that I have here that I would like to get to in the month of July, broken up with a couple of these non-cyberpunk books just to not get genre fatigue, are all indie. So the first one is Falling into Oblivion by Aaron N. Payne. I believe this is a cyberpunk murder mystery-esque. The cover has a big lizard on it, and I'm definitely in it for the big lizard. This will likely be on audio, so I'll hopefully be picking that one up a bit later in the month, because I think my Audible credit which again I forgot to discontinue, and Libero doesn't start up for another couple of months. I believe it's coming in on the 11th of July. What is time? So potentially that will be picked up then. I don't know what I'll read or listen to in the meantime. I may pick up Terminal Secrets by Andy Peliquin, which is the second book in his Cerberus series. I want to say it's the second book. I'll put the cover up here. This is also like a sci-fi, I would say borderline cyberpunk, so it fits in with that, and that's just going to be an extra if I do get to put that book in there. The next one I would like to pick up is Wraith and Revolution by AJ Calvin. So this one came out in the month of June. It's only just dropped, and I'm quite looking forward to this one. There was a big build-up to it, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into this one. I've heard some pretty good things so far, and that's all I really know about it. I want to go into it fairly blind. I read the blurb on the indie release list, and that's about all I know of this one. Next up, I've got Paralyze by S.K. Putt. I quite liked Stu's short story Data Through the Snow, which came out at Christmas time last year. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of this cyberpunk writing. I think Stu has essentially decided that cyberpunk is where he wants to be in his writing, although I'm still hoping for another book in his in the series, like the Viking-esque series or the Norse-inspired series. This one's relatively short. I think it's only about 200 pages-ish, so it should be nice and quick to get in there. Maybe this is one I'll take when I go with Rachel away to Adelaide as one to read in airports and things like that. So I would like to get to that one. If I do have time and I'm not burnt out on cyberpunk, I would like to return to Toothsucker by Caden Love. I was going to read that one in June, but I didn't pick it up, unfortunately. So if I do have some more time, I would like to go ahead and pick that up. So there are a few cyberpunk entries. Now, one wild card which I didn't see coming and is a total mood read that I keep gravitating towards, and like I don't know how I feel about it, except that I want to give it another go. And the reason I want to give it another go is because my wife Rachel edited the book Only a Grave Will Do by James Lloyd Doohan, and through editing that, and then I've since read the arc of that, having conversations about the character in this book, Kalo, which she likened to Fitz in Robin Hobb. Now, I DNF'd the second book, which is Royal Assassin, about halfway through, and I always meant to return back to it, but I just didn't. So I am in the mood, and maybe I'm in a better headspace now, or I'm more, I guess, attuned to fantasy. When I picked Assassin's Apprentice up, and I did enjoy this one, I don't remember a whole lot about it, except I didn't like Fitz, and I didn't really like Molly either in this book, but I liked the other bits around it and the world building and the slow pace of the story as we build that world and we build these characters up. I'm not much of a character-driven reader. In fact, if characters annoy me, that's pretty much a bugbear for me the whole way through, which is why Rand gives me the shits. It's why Fitz gave me the shits. But I'm willing to give it another go to see if I can get on board, or at least like the other characters enough to continue on with the series. I will say that with Wheel of Time, that has worked, at least for now, at finishing book 4, where Rand does annoy me, and he does annoy me when he's on the page, but there is enough going on externally that I can continue on with the series. And I'm hoping to give this one another go now that I'm more well-versed in fantasy. When I initially picked this one up, I think I started that thought and then stopped it. I had only just gotten back into fantasy again, or even just back into reading again. So I am feeling the pull to try this again, because of the likeness of not the characters themselves, but Kalo is someone who you also don't necessarily like or necessarily agree with in the Malatu series by James Lloyd Doohan, but you do understand where this person is coming from, and she likened that to Fitz. Doesn't make the best decisions, in fact sometimes make terrible decisions, but through the growth you do get to understand why he makes the decisions that he does. So I don't know, I'm being pulled back into this world. I'm very skeptical whether I will like it, but I'm willing to give it another go. I would like to try this trilogy again before jumping into the live ship traders, which has been suggested. I just jump into the live ship traders, but we'll see, because I do also like beautiful writing, which is something I've learned since reading more fantasy. Time will tell. Those are a few things on my radar for the month of July. What are you picking up? Are you excited for me to get to any of these? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content, give it one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next video.